All right, so the other really cool thing in Connect that we're going to do is LearnSmart assignments, and I'm going to make these worth bonus points. Let me show you how these work. The way I would do this is I would watch the lecture videos first before you try to do the LearnSmart assignment. So for example, on chapter 1, let's do that. Learning materials. So for the first chapter, that's going to be covered in Unit 1 on your first test. Click on the chapter 1 folder. Remember, you can print a PowerPoint for a handout, and then I've got all of the lecture videos. I've broken those up into smaller pieces for you this semester. After you have watched all of those and you've taken your notes and you feel like you know the material, jump over to the LearnSmart. And this is, honestly, it's a way for you to study, but I'm going to give you some bonus points too. So your grade is going to be better because you studied this, but then number 2 is going to be better because you got the bonus points for completing the assignment. Here's how this will look to you. It'll take a little bit, but what it's going to do is pull up your textbook for that chapter. So this is chapter 1. Now I was able to go in and customize these just a little bit. So there's some stuff that we didn't cover and some stuff that we did focus on from the book. So when you go through and you read this, a lot of the words are going to be not bold. They're going to be kind of faded. That means that's something that we didn't really focus on. I'm not saying it's not important, but it's not something that was a real focus of our chapter. Something that we did cover, you're going to see that in bolder. It'll look normal. So that'll kind of let you see, all right, this is the stuff I really need to focus on. This is not perfect. It's what I do is I say these are the topics we covered, and then McGraw-Hill kind of picks what to make bold and what not to. So I'm not vouching and saying this is perfect, but it's pretty neat. All right, so once you've read it, or honestly, if you feel like you studied and you really know the lecture, you can just jump over to the bottom where it says practice. Once you click practice, you're going to see, I think I started on this already, but it's going to have 50 questions for you to answer. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but again, studying takes time. Anatomy is not the kind of subject where you hear it one time and it's like part of your permanent memory. You really do have to have repetition and practice this. So it'll see questions that should have been stuff that we covered in the lecture video. Again, I can't make these questions, so there might be some errors. But it says an organ group is a group of 2 or more blank that work together for a common function. So you get to read the question. And this is really cool. It's called adaptive learning. So it's going to try to figure out what you know and what you don't know, and it's going to help you learn the information. So let's say I think I know this. I'm not positive, but I think so. You'll say this is how confident I am. And then you'll type your answer. So I think an organ is a group of 2 or more tissues. Boom, got it. Awesome. So I know that. So watch what happens. There were 50 total. I had 49 items left. When I click OK, now I've got 48. It's going to make me go through until I answer 50 questions. Now, if I get it wrong, the ability of a blank to stay alive is dependent on its proper functioning of its blank. Okay. Let's say I don't know this one. I'm just going to go through and pick something random. No idea, but that's my guess. Okay, I got it wrong. When I click OK, it's going to tell me what the right answer was, so hopefully I'll learn it next time. And when I click OK, if you'll notice, a question didn't go away. So think of this like a stack of note cards with a bunch of different questions. If you miss it, that card goes back in the stack, and it's shuffled, but at some point in time, you're going to see that question again. You keep going through until you answer all 50. So I know this takes a little bit of time, but like I said, studying and doing well in a class like this is going to take time. If you want to make it as quick as possible, the best thing you can do is really study beforehand, because then all you have to do is answer 50 questions, and if you get them all right, you're done. You can't just guess, because when you get it wrong, it's going to go back in there, and if you guess again, you're going to keep answering. You might end up answering like 200 questions by the time you're done. No one wants to do that, so make sure you know the material beforehand. So here's where the bonus points come in. Each of these chapters that I have for this is going to be, most of them are going to be worth 3 bonus points. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but stick with me throughout this. 3 bonus points. So if I go through, I do all of the chapter 1 questions and I get them all right, I'm going to get 3 bonus points on my test. Doesn't sound like a ton. I've got another one for chapter 5 though. That's on the first test. So if I do both of those, if I do all of the LearnSmart for chapter 1 and chapter 5, I'm going to get 6 bonus points on my test. And that's a lot. That's not bad. You have 4 tests, and I'm going to do that on each of those. So at the end of the semester, you could get 24 bonus points. If that's not impressive to you, that ends up being about 3 points on your final average. So just by doing these connect assignments, which you can keep doing until you get them right, you could get 3 points on your average. Means if you made a 77, you bumped yourself up to a B. You made a 59, you bumped yourself up to a D. You didn't fail the class because you did this. That's a little bit that helps, but honestly, I think the even bigger impact is you've studied, you've gone through and you've answered these questions. So I think you're going to do better on the test. Forget the bonus points. I think you're going to do better on the test just because you've studied. All right. So I'm going to have these whenever we are scheduled to cover a chapter, like a lecture, I'm going to have a LearnSmart that's going to be available for that. You have until the test to do these. After that, when the test is over, I'll go through, I'll see who did it, who didn't, and I'll add the bonus points. So if you take the test and then like after I check these, your grade's going to bump up a little bit more than it was. All right. So again, use this. You're paying for it already. It comes with Connect. So make sure you take advantage of that and let me know if you need anything.